Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, I'm on Patreon, Twitter and all that jazz for extra support. Got some interesting stuff here going on. Acer, I think yesterday I mentioned Acer launching the 7600 for $400 in Spain. But now ASRock's basically supposedly quietly launches the A770, the 16 gigabyte version at 329, which is kind of the same price that the reference card from Intel Arc was, if not mistaken. However, there is no official, from what I understood from the article, there is no official information, no official page on ASRock site. This is from Newegg. So at the moment, take it with a grain of salt. We got here out of stock. I don't know if it is just to pinpoint a page for them and wait for official announcement from ASRock. But yeah, it seems that in terms of specs should be the same, at least the same, that in terms of like memory clocks and everything, and even the memory speed should be the same that at the reference card, at least. Usually IBs usually try to tweak a little bit more and squeeze out a little bit more performance from the GPUs, mainly because the cooling solution usually it's better than the reference cards. But yeah, seems to go around 329. I assume that given the rumors from AMD, this price should be going lower after or in August or something like that. But yeah, it could be this CPU should be a little bit below or at the mark of $300, given that this price point and every dollar makes a huge difference, to compensate in terms of performance with what we have in the market here. At the moment, supposedly it's going to be cost $50 more than the 8 gigabyte model. You can see here the difference of, I think, the BOM, so bill of materials, usually regarding memory. 8 gigabytes is going around like very cheap, like less than $20. And of course, in the high-end user, usually it's around $50 more, except for Nvidia. They charge $100 is like the Nvidia price. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is to replace of course the reference cards from Intel. They stopped manufacturing them, which is like the limited edition was called, the 16 gigabyte version. And we see some AIBs doing that for Intel, which is always good. More options you have on the market, the better, and usually gets more competitive. So regarding AMD, we got a slew of news here. We got the new AGESA, the one that is basically, this is the B version from 1007, which is 1.0.0.7b, which is this one. It's like an update from the AGESA update from the I think it was the Asus ones boards that was basically exploding the X3D CPUs, mainly because of the DDR5 thing. When you sometimes trigger Expo, it will ramp up the voltage for the CPUs, which is not what it's supposed to do. And basically AMD had to block internally on the AGESA itself, so these guys don't mess around. Yeah, after the download, the fix was launched, never heard any more CPUs exploding, so which is good. But with this update, it brings like high-speed memory, so it ramps up the capabilities. Usually, the sweet spot on AM5 platforms, it's 6,000. MTS, so mega transfers per second. Now it's ramped up to 8,000, and it's to support the chipset, the B650 boards. They can support this. We're seeing a lot of, because DDR5 is relatively new technology in terms of memory, and the fact that memory timings and putting everything like synced properly, it takes its time to mature these kind of things. We saw the same thing with the DDR4. They started off with like lower MTSs, and now, for example, the sweet spot on AMD CPUs, it's around 3600 or 4600, and Intel depends. I think you can go about, because it's of the scaling of 1-to-1 thing. I'm not very on the know regarding this kind of thing. I know the sweet spots, and for me as a gamer and user, I think it's best to know the sweet spots and don't mess too much, especially with the memory. I know if you start messing up too much with memory, some errors will occur, and then you can ruin a lot of stuff that you're working on. I try not to mess with that, especially because these memories are not error supported, so when you introduce errors, some stuff can happen. But yeah, you got some screenshots here from some tests from several GPUs paired with several memories. They managed to get the ASRock B650, this live mixer. I think it's like a high-end 650 board with a 7900X at DDR5 8000 memory. We got here the 7800X 3D at 8000 also with a X670, so it's like high-end motherboards. Here the same thing with the MSI Mag. The same thing with Gigabyte and several CPUs. They had several brands, so basically we can see that there is a good amount of now support of and stability regarding this kind of thing. They got a lot of timings. I'm not going to delve too much here. For me as a user, and usually I'm going always to recommend putting in the sweet spot, so you don't have like stability issues. The only thing that it's going to change, it is that confirmed that Ryzen 7000 series will now be able to run the 64 MTS memory with a 1-to-1 IC ratio, so instruction clock ratio, I think it's called. Given that at this time it was 6000, now I think they are going to update it to 6400 MTSs, so I think this is going to be basically the new sweet spot, which is good. It makes a huge difference, especially on AMD CPUs. I think they are, when you get on the sweet spot, afterwards they are less sensitive to memory. I think Intel are more sensitive when you start messing around with the hertz here. But yeah, it seems that until for further confirmation, I will try to see if I get more info. I think the new sweet spot is like 6400 memory transfers per second. Sorry, sometimes reading these acronyms, it's too much for me. But yeah, this is good to know, and to see that there is maturing on the platform itself, and now DDR5 memory support is higher, because even it's basically almost on par with the Intel's stuff here, which is good to see. Also, there was I was covering like an article regarding like the mid-range launch of the AMD GPUs, the RDNA 3. We got more info, at least something to look at, even though this is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. There's still a lot of confusion. I've been following a little bit more laws that like this kind of rumors around these GPUs. It's been a mixed bag here, because there is no certainty, especially of course when you get some supposed leaks, or if you have like insider information to a certain point. Trying to get around like specifics is always tricky. This one at least gives us on writing something like a guide for us to go about the launch of the GPUs. Supposedly this source, which is John Peddle Research, citing various leaks from Asia, so we never have for sure. Supposedly that there's going to be an announcement in Gamescom, which is around August. It's the Gamescom. It's one of those that I'll try to check if something comes up worth mentioning. Also, the same thing with San Diego Comic-Con. I will see if there's something worth mentioning, especially on the gaming front. I think there are some more info that is coming up on upcoming games, and I will let you know. But this one, we got several information here. We know the X7900 XT is 80 CUs or 90 something CUs. I know the XTX is 96 CUs, so compute units. Here we got supposedly they're going to announce this one, the 7700 and the 7800. Supposedly at the moment, the 7700 it's going to have like 54 CUs, 12 gigabytes of memory. I think they should all at least put 16, but it's better than what we are getting at least from Nvidia front. And the 7800 is going to have 16 gigabytes. We saw, I think I mentioned this one, there was some leaked performance of supposedly this kind of GPUs. I got a reference here on the article. Supposedly the 7800 in terms of time spy benchmark, which it's just for reference, it's not going to translate basically on gaming, but at least we can have like a rough estimate of some sorts. The 7700 it performs a little bit in terms of that score, in specific around 5% more than the 4070, and the 7800 sorry, I'm mistaken. The 7800 it performs to the 4070 around 55% plus, and the 7700 beats supposedly the 4060 Ti by 15%. Basically, it doesn't matter if it is the 8 or 16 gigabytes variants because of the memory stuff here, and the fact that these already have like at least 12 gigabytes, and supposedly hopefully the memory bus is larger than the 4060 Ti. 4060 Ti could have been like 24 gigabytes. Doesn't matter if you don't have like the memory bandwidth to support the quantity of VRAM. But yeah, interesting news. We don't know if they're going to announce more than this. This is like a placeholder of the information leaked supposedly. We might have like, for example, a mid between the 7800, 7800 XT or 7900 non-XT or non-XTX. Supposedly it's a little bit better in terms of compute units. This comes with Navi 31. I think this might be I'm not sure if this one or the 7800, but I think this is the Navi 31 GPU chip in Navi 32 die. I don't know if this mentioned here the fact that it's Navi 31, I'm not sure, or if there is this Navi 32 die with the Navi 31 chip, but I don't think so because of the compute units. I think mainly this is it, or this can be like a very cut down Navi 31. Which is the high-end die here. We will see how it goes. Again, hopefully some more official information will come up in Gamescom if all the leaks are certain. They really need to launch their mid-range. We might. This basically ties up with a lot of stuff that even the 6000 series are basically almost out of stock all over the place globally. So I think it starts to make a good makes sense for them to launch the replacements in terms of at least the price range where they were the previous generations. We'll see how it goes, and I hope when they announced, we have like detailed information of what they're doing, so we have like a rough estimate in terms of how they're going to perform against the Nvidia lineup. But yeah, at the moment this is what it is. Supposedly we'll have a reveal next month on Gamescom, with launching in September supposedly. This is the rumor. In gaming news, we got The Witcher 3, the next gen patch 4.04 now packs DLSS free, ray tracing fixes, HDR calibration options, and a lot of more stuff here. You got a lot of stuff here. Fixes also some stuff regarding fog and sky reflection on water. This has to be with ray tracing stuff, grass collision. It's always good to see that they are continuing tweaking the game, improving the game. The CD Projekt really needs to maintain this kind of work, because they lost a lot of confidence from player community regarding the Cyberpunk 2077 launch, and these always have to be in our memories also as gamers, so we can pressure them on continuing to improve what they do. Phantom Liberty, I think we might see something, if not now, San Diego Comic-Con. We might see something, because I think the expansion is going to launch now in August. I'm not sure the exact date, but yeah, hopefully we'll have like a final stuff here, like a final demo or something like that from that. And they are going to launch also like a patched version 1.07, I think, for Cyberpunk. But yeah, the game improved a lot from what it was launched at the time. They basically added more features. They improved a lot of AI stuff, from police stuff. I try not to be very spoiled on games that I didn't play, but yeah, it improved a lot, and has a lot more positive feedback regarding Cyberpunk. Witcher 3, it was always a very good one with some bugs here and there, but the implementation of the ray tracing stuff, it was a little bit more awkward, because the fact that the engine was not built with ray tracing in mind, from what I understood. So it was like a DirectX 11, basically API supported engine, and then transferred that for all of it for DirectX 12, because ray tracing needs DirectX 12 API to function properly, and the fact that they basically had to inject all of this stuff on the engine itself. I think that's why one of the reasons they basically switched to Unreal Engine 5, because it already has like this native supportive technologies here, like the ray tracing, DLSSs and everything. It's way more easier, because if they maintain with Red Engine, they basically had to overhaul the engine, from what I understood. That I think it's one of the main reasons they basically changed engine here. I really like the Red Engine, because the Red Engine was very supportive of mods in terms of integration, at least with the Witcher 3. Witcher 2 was a little bit more tricky, but it was more easier than the Witcher 1. But yeah, it's good to see that they're continuing to patching this game after all these years and improving the performance here. Also, we have more rumors regarding Resident Evil. Supposedly it's going to launch 2025, and in the meantime we might have like another title in 2024, maybe one of the title remakes, I don't know, Resident Evil 5 remake or something like that, or the other like spin-off series, not from the main titles. This person here, this column, shares some information. At the time, one of the leaks, there was a time that they were working simultaneously on Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 8 and 9, being that 2, 3 and 4 were the remakes. Of course, at the time, the 9 was extremely early development. But yeah, supposedly the game, the Resident Evil 9, it will be launched in 2025. Supposedly they're going to announce it officially around next year. Information, this is like a rumor. They're also planning to announce a game, another game this year for next year, so to maybe launch fall 2024. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a remake of one of the older games. And supposedly Resident Evil 9, sorry, may mark the end of the Winter Saga, so maybe like a trilogy. I played the first one, the 7, so the first game from the Winter Saga. I made a series on it. Find it interesting the way they took around it. Still didn't play the Village one. And yeah, there was like in the 7 there was like this kind of twist here of, I think it was Chris Redfield or the other guy. I always confuse their names. And basically Resident Evil 9 will take again Chris Redfield to return the game protagonist. Resident Evil 8, I don't know too much about it. But I think it was, if not Chris Redfield, it was the other guy, one of the main characters from the series. I always forget their names. But yeah, this is the rumor at the moment, and finally we got some stuff like at least at my time zone, like late night, that Blizzard will start basically not porting but putting their games on Steam. A lot of people, the timing is interesting, mainly because of that court decision regarding the block of the merger between Microsoft and not Activision Blizzard. But yeah, it's interesting. I think one of the other news that I saw regarding Overwatch 2, because this is the first one that is going to be introduced on Steam, it's mainly because of the fact that Overwatch 2 is a mess, from what I understood. I never played, not even the Overwatch 1. I stopped playing all Blizzard games for no specific reason. At one point in time, it's too grindy. The one that I was playing, Hearthstone, was starting to get like a grind fest. It was a pressure to play a lot of games on one day to try to keep it up with the gold, so you can buy the card packs. Then they always start the same way. They introduce like one expansion one time per year, then after 1 year they introduce 6 months, then it's almost like a monthly release, so you can keep spending the freaking money on the game, on a supposedly free game, and it was too much for me. It gets very boring very quickly in this kind of games. If it was like give you time to try to adapt on those expansions, I'm talking specifically of Hearthstone, adapting to the packs, to the new expansions, have time to get grind the thing for new packs and complete the collection. But when they start to pressure you to basically start to play the game, you have to buy packs. It's all over. And Overwatch 2, I think, entered the same way, because they went to a free-to-play mode. They removed a lot of stuff. I think like PvP mission, not PvP, PvE missions or something like that, or hero missions. It was like solo player content. And basically they tank the engagement on this game. I think they are bringing basically this one to try to ramp up the engagement on this game. I think it's also it's a lot of things here, and they took advantage of the fact that that decision from the court regarding the blocking of the merger was negated. I don't know exactly the legalities around it, because it's like huge merger. It's like a global merger. Every or FTC or equivalent, or FCC, I don't know which organization in the United States deals with this. I don't know. From every country or region has to give their opinion regarding the merger. So it's going to be a tricky process. I think they extended the merger process a little bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't think we are going to see a lot of changes regarding this kind of free games. I don't know if they're going to continue with this, or I think it's better serve this kind of games, at least put a price on it, and if you want extra like cheap price, I don't know. I don't like this kind of free-to-play kind of games. It gets boring very quickly. But yeah, it is what it is. This is going to be coming in 10th of August. We'll see how it goes. Now, for gaming, today I got some games for you to wishlist, some upcoming games. I think all of them come this year. So you got Gord, which is like a strategy game with some colony, some survival stuff, real-time strategy here. So basically you have to, one of the things you have to sacrifice one of the villagers to appease the gods, something like that. There is a lot of interesting mechanics here. It's coming 17th of August. It's not a very expensive game. 17th of August. Seems pretty interesting, the mechanics here. I'm not very like sim build and city management kind of guy, but this one has this kind of thing of you sacrificing a villager to appease the gods or something, and you got some horror stuff here. You got like monsters outside the village. We'll see how it goes. When the game comes out and I see some reviews, I will let you know how it goes. Also, we got Pacific Drive. This game will come this year. There is like no specific day a month. Maybe we got something on San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know. Interesting in mechanics. It's like you got your car, which is not a mobile base, but it is basically your armor, and you have to keep it up keep it up to date with the fixing. You can mod the car, so you can deal with the environmental damages and everything around. And you got your base here, which is a gas station. Very interesting, the mechanics, how they're going about it. And basically you have to survive and get basically to see why all these anomalies are happening. And regarding gaming deals, we got Frostpunk. It's 80% off, so $6, or Game of the Year edition, 80% off, $13. And of course you can buy everything from 11-bit studios. They have pretty good games, so 91% off, so 20 something. We got this War of Mine, this Frostpunk. We got Children of Morta, which is a very good game. Also, I think it's a worthwhile game there also. This one, again, this is a very around city builder. It's not really my thing, but if I'm interested regarding this one, mainly because of the setting itself. Also, we got the Mafia trilogy. I remember playing the first Mafia when it came out, like early 2000s, I think. Not sure when it came out, the first one. This one is the definitive edition. I watched some videos here from the definitive edition, both the first and the second one. I also remember, I think I dabbled in Mafia 2 also. I don't quite remember. This one has got upgraded graphics, at least from the videos, because it's way too shiny for what it was at the time. And the Mafia 3, I don't think it's that good. It's got some mixed user reviews here, but the first and the second one are a little bit better. So 60% off, $34 for all free games. I think it's a decent deal, at least for the first one. The first one, I remember liking it. You might recognize some influences that other games caught up from this first game regarding some mechanics, but yeah. Pretty decent trilogy here. Also, Dying Light Stay Human, so Dying Light 2, it's 50% off until 2 of August, so around 1 week or so, 2 weeks almost, until this deal is over. I don't like very much DLCs, but I think the Ultimate Edition is pretty good. So it's basically the base, the price of a base game for the Ultimate Edition. I just let you know because of the Ultimate Edition, because Dying Light, even the first one had a lot of support, a lot of content coming out, even with the DLCs. They were very full of content, and even like they got a lot of events now, especially on Dying Light 2. They improve the game and give support throughout the game lifespan. I think even in Dying Light 1 there was recently some updates, but yeah, at the moment Dying Light 2 it's on promo, so 50% off. You can buy the base game and see if you like it. You can continue to support with some DLC here. I think it's pretty good. The parkour system is very good, at least on the first one, and I think I'm not sure about the story on the second one. The first one was kind of meh, not not an excellent story. It was just enough for you to keep engaged on the game, but the game loop here is very interesting. And finally we got Vampyr. I announced this game, the promo here a few days ago, I think. It's kind of mostly positive. I think the main issue here, it's not game breaking or something like that. It's I think you might have some performance issues here and there, depending on your hardware, but I think the rest is pretty decent. It's got around 80% of positive reviews, which is good. 80% off, $8, and you got $2 for the DLC, the Hunter's Loom edition. I don't know what it is, if it is like just some skins or something like that, or if it is real content. Yeah, but I always interested in this game. I like vampire settings. It's always good to see what they do with this kind of thing, and I think the story is pretty good. And basically this is it for today, guys. I'm going to wrap up with my GoGetFundMe for me to upgrade my PC, to get better and more content from my private clients, and start doing some video stuff for them. And of course in my free spare time, do the daily videos with better quality. Resume my gameplay series, doing some scripted content on some deep dives that I like to talk about, and possibly doing some live streams in the near future. And with all that said, guys, I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.